Christmas was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it became the beginning of one of America's greatest mysteries. Nearly 30 years later, the question remains the same. The city of Boulder, Colorado, sits nestled against the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. It is known for its scenic beauty and its quiet, affluent neighborhoods. In the winter of 1996, this community was draped in fresh snow. Christmas lights twinkled from eaves, casting a warm glow onto cold, silent streets. The holiday season was in full swing: celebration, family gatherings, innocent joy. In one of these large, comfortable homes on a quiet cul-de-sac, the Ramsey family celebrated Christmas. John Ramsey, successful businessman, president of a billion-dollar company. Patsy Ramsey, former Miss West Virginia, devoted mother, outgoing, community-involved. They had 2 children, Burke and JonBenét. JonBenét, bright and bubbly, a pageant participant. She was the family's little star, charismatic with a dazzling smile. That Christmas day, they enjoyed a festive meal and shared gifts. On Christmas night, they returned from a holiday party. They put their tired children to bed. The house grew quiet under snow and darkness. No sign of the horror about to unfold inside. No one could imagine this scene would be shattered. Festive lights of warmth and happiness would soon be replaced by cold, flashing blue and red police lights. Christmas was about to become the start of one of America's most haunting mysteries. The day after Christmas, December 26, 1996, began not with the quiet aftermath of holiday cheer, but with a jolt of sheer terror. At around 5:30 in the morning, Patsy Ramsey awoke and made her way down the back staircase of her home. It was on these stairs that she found something that did not belong: a 2.5-page handwritten letter. It was a ransom note. The letter, addressed to John Ramsey, claimed that a small foreign faction had kidnapped their daughter, JonBenét. It demanded the specific sum of $118,000 for her safe return, an amount that curiously mirrored the value of a recent work bonus John had received. Patsy screamed for John, and together they rushed to JonBenét's room, only to find it empty. Her bed was vacant. The ransom note explicitly warned them not to contact the police, threatening that JonBenét would be beheaded if they did. Despite this terrifying warning, at 5:52 in the morning, Patsy Ramsey picked up the phone and made a frantic call to 911. The dispatcher who took the call heard a panicked and almost hysterical voice on the other end, pleading for help and saying her daughter had been kidnapped. The first police officer arrived at the Ramsey home at 5:55 in the morning. What the officer found was a scene of chaos and confusion. The house, which should have been secured as a potential crime scene, was soon filled with people. Friends and neighbors of the Ramseys, alerted to the crisis, began arriving to offer support. Critical protocols for handling a kidnapping scene were not followed. The house was not properly sealed off, and potential evidence was immediately at risk of being contaminated. For hours, the investigation proceeded under the assumption that JonBenét was alive and being held somewhere outside the house. No one yet knew she was still inside, her body lying in a small windowless room in the basement. Sometime after 1:00 p.m., with the kidnapper's promised call having never come, Detective Arndt asked John Ramsey and a family friend to conduct another search of the house. They headed down to the basement, a labyrinth of rooms that had not yet been thoroughly examined by law enforcement. It was John Ramsey who made the horrific discovery. He opened the door to a small, windowless room. There, on the floor, he found his daughter's body. He immediately scooped his daughter's body into his arms and carried her upstairs. The discovery changed everything. This was no longer a kidnapping, it was now a homicide. With the tragic reality of a homicide established, the focus shifted to the painstaking process of evidence collection. Several key pieces were collected: the duct tape from her mouth, a makeshift garrote, a bowl of pineapple, and the ransom note itself, written on a pad from inside the house. The autopsy provided the grim facts. The official cause of death was asphyxia by strangulation associated with craniocerebral trauma. She had suffered a massive skull fracture and been strangled. The evidence increasingly pointed toward a staged crime scene. This shift in perspective inevitably led investigators to look closely at the people who were in the house on the night of the murder: John, Patsy, and Burke Ramsey. From the beginning, the defense for the Ramsey family has centered on one explanation: a mysterious and violent intruder broke into their home. Proponents point to physical evidence: an unidentified boot print in the basement, a broken window as a possible entry point, and, most compellingly, the DNA. Unidentified male DNA was found in JonBenét's underpants and under her fingernails. The DNA did not match John, Patsy, or Burke Ramsey. This led Boulder's district attorney in 2008 to issue a formal letter of apology, clearing the family based on the DNA evidence. However, that conclusion is not universally accepted. In stark contrast, many investigators became convinced the crime was committed by someone within the family, and that the kidnapping was a hoax. They point to the ransom note being written inside the house, and propose scenarios. One, that a parent killed JonBenét in a burst of rage. Another, that her brother Burke struck her accidentally, leading to a panicked cover-up by the parents. The family's behavior, the contamination of the scene, John's discovery of the body, and their decision to communicate through lawyers fueled investigators' suspicions. The evidence allows for both interpretations, yet proves neither, leaving two dominant, irreconcilable theories at the heart of the case. The case became a national obsession, fueled by a perfect storm of sensational details and the dawn of the 24-hour news cycle. The line between reporting facts and fueling speculation quickly blurred. The public was drawn into the story, debating theories and effectively putting the parents on trial in the court of public opinion. This intense public fascination placed enormous pressure on the Boulder Police Department, a relatively small agency unequipped to handle a media onslaught of this scale. Decades later, the case continues to fascinate, in part because of advances in forensic science. Hope persists that new technology could finally break the impasse. New methods like genetic genealogy, which have solved other famous cold cases, offer a potential path to identifying the source of the unknown DNA. Renewed public interest through new documentaries, books, and podcasts ensures the case is never forgotten and keeps pressure on investigators to continue the search for answers. Nearly 3 decades have passed. Questions remain. Evidence continues to be examined. But until investigators identify the person responsible, America's greatest child murder mystery remains unsolved.